You say, look, you can't just forgive the fathers for what they did. You want to. I mean, I had compassion, I had empathy, but it was necessary to arrest them. It made me feel like terrible, but it was necessary. But because they were gangbanging, they were doing all the stuff that came along with gangbanging. However, if you can educate kids and show them opportunities, I know you've done mentoring. It's the same type of thing. If you show them, a lot of them just don't know it exists. It's so much harder, actually, to leave the neighborhood and take a bus to the other side of town and find a decent job that's actually going to promote them when they can just go next door and they can get a sack and knock out twice as much money in a day. And everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, just to ride the bus. And walk to school out that neighborhood. Now you're gonna be exposed to too much. All the elements and all the detriments that sits at the forefront of the streets sits on the front porch in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of kids out there in the neighborhood have never even seen Six Flags, and Six Flags is 20 minutes up the road.
Well, and conversely, when this came out, the people in the city that were white suburban folks had no earthly idea there was a gang culture. This happens in Fort Worth, like in our city. They had no earthly idea because, again, it's socioeconomically segregated. You have poor neighborhoods, and then you have the suburbs. That's why people move to the suburbs in the first place. There's less crime and whatever, and they're moving up, but they don't spend time driving back through just to see how everybody's doing. So they don't even know it exists. So by us bringing this to the attention of people that, man, every major city, the Fort Worth's like the 9th largest city in the U.S., but every major city has this going on.
Yeah.
And the same cycle takes place, and the same kids are going to be left. And if they can get the right help at an early enough age and be shown that there are alternatives, I mean, some of these programs are showing them how to look you in the eye and shake your hand with a firm handshake, and know how to pay bills and know how to sit
say
at a
please
table.
and may I see that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, it's called resocialization. So a lot of these kids don't even know how to walk up and say, hey, can I see that when you get through? They take it from, hey, let me see that, and take it. And if you can't take it back, it's theirs. So that's a lot of that is what I experienced working in the Stop Six community with the Hyped About Hype. So that's how I heard about Tegan. Shout out to Miss Nikki, and he know Miss Nikki. Miss Nikki was involved in that, and her son, had witnessed a lot as a young kid. He witnessed a suicide of a relative. And so he got involved in some robberies with some more other kids and was facing some time. And so I had met a bail bondsman guy from Big Bubba Bail Bondsman, and he helped us through an attorney by the name of Kathy Winthorpe to kind of get him like a first-time offenders program. And that's when Miss Nikki told me about Officer Tegan.
What did she say?
What he had done in the fishbowl. She said a lot of people mad at him and what he did, but she said, man, did you know that he helped, with the kids over in the Hope program? She said that he helped me and my kids. And I said, for real? And so, yeah, she gave me a detail. And she started out hating him because I think you arrested with a boyfriend or somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Nikki hated him. But I used to see her, she used to always come up to the classy lady. And she started dating one of my friends called James. And so when her son got in trouble, she said, man, that I should meet him, that I should try to find out who he is and meet him because of what he did and what I was doing. And so I think it's 6 years later, he ended up reaching out to me. And so we've been locked in ever since.
So you make the arrests, or y'all go in as D-Day or whatever, right? You round up everybody.
Historical drug busting operation, by the
Crazy
way.
days, man.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of offers.
Very
Yeah.
historical.
Well, we had 220 law enforcement officers meet up in a gymnasium up the road, and then it was the first search warrant I hadn't actually been involved in because, I was the undercover operator. So I'm sitting in an FBI office, this giant conference table with a bunch of telephones lined up around it and stuff, and dry erase boards everywhere, and they call a green light, and all these SWAT teams start going to work and start calling in. We got so-and-so, we're at this address, we're trying to chase down this, and people writing stuff on phones are ringing, and they're taking all these calls. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. It's just like watching the stock exchange floor. It was crazy. And, and at the same time, I'm nervous. I'm thinking, man, they're going to get so-and-so. But some of these cats, mind you, I wanted them to get.
Yeah.
Some of these cats really need to go. And those are the ones I was concerned about getting picked up right away too. I don't need those guys on the run and then be having to watch myself for that long. So, man, it was a super crazy experience. And Holly, my wife, had kind of just talked me through that whole shebang, leading up to that. The 2 days before, I literally didn't sleep the night before because we were still gathering stuff with the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI agents, getting documents ready and writing affidavits and crap.
I have to ask you, in Donnie Brasco, there's a scene where Donnie kind of lets Al Pacino know what's about to come and said, man, maybe you should just quit and go.
You read my mind.
Did you ever just tell any man, just quit, man? Maybe you should go
read
do a job.
my mind. See?
Did you ever feel that compelled because this guy is kind of got some goodness in him?
There are at least 3 people that should have been rounded up. I'll just leave it at that. There are 3 people that did plenty of deals, got me to different levels, but there were circumstances so early on that got left alone. And but it wasn't something that they knew at the time, because I couldn't afford to say, hey man, I'm going to pull you aside and give you the tip, because I had way too much to lose then. So I go to your house and I got to really trust that he didn't say nothing, or I'm going to be hanging.
It's something that they did in the process to let you know.
Yeah. Or even like if you said, hey man, I'm going to bring my brother into this, and I don't want him up in this game. I'm trying to salvage this situation. You'd give me this story about how you're really trying to get him out of the game, but you want me to be involved because I could help talk. You're literally a mentorship situation in the street, a street level mentorship, from these cats. And it's like, okay, that cat gets left alone. It was just something that was almost like a code. And I know that.
Now just think, man, I know a lot of these guys. I personally know a lot of these guys. Yeah, so
that should have been rounded up. That all of a sudden I never got paper, and I don't know why, but yeah.
Let me just say this, without saying too much. A lot of the guys that you feel like deserve to be in there, they did, and it probably was the best thing for them, because now life is completely different now.